welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and you're still here with us for the first day of our Memewonder 2024. And now is the really amazing section. I'm gonna say that this is our one of the highlights of the day. This is our panel discussion on Memecoin Trends. How are CTO doing and what can be done better? So please join me in welcoming our panelists and the moderator for the stage. The first panelist is Mr. Luis Bellet, CEO and founder of Yellow. Mr. Alan Fang, partner of Blockchain for Good Alliance and head of MyDoge. Mr. Jordan Jefferson, CEO of MyDoge. Mr. Anndy Lian, co-founder of Aeon. And of course, the moderator of this section, Mr. Anndy Lian, best-selling book author and managing director of LIFT Ecofund by MemeCore.
Hi everyone, are you happy today? Woo! Woo! All right, we are here to have a good chat about meme coins and the various trends that we are going to see right now. So before we do that, we have a quick introduction about each and every panelist. So let's start with Louis.
Hello, my name is Louis, the founder of Yellow. We decentralize finance, to keep it short.
Alan, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Alan, head of MyDoge. MyDoge is a Web3 builder community initiated by Bybit. We aiming to help build a space that the builders can learn and gather and even find a job. So that's how we nurturing the talent pool in the Web3 space. And meanwhile, we just initiated a Blockchain for Good Alliance. Tomorrow we have a big event in Grand Hyatt. Probably you can just check the Blockchain for Good. You will find us. Yeah, we can share later. Thanks.
Jordan.
Hi everybody, I'm Jordan, co-founder and CEO of MyDoge, #1 Dogecoin wallet, self-custody, mobile app, Chrome wallet, and more coming soon. And we're also launching Doge OS, the app layer for Dogecoin, also coming very soon.
Eddie, thank you.
Hey, my name is Eddie, and co-founder and CEO of Aeon. So basically, we do payment. We are the largest payment protocol on Ton ecosystem, but we are also live on Solana and BSC. We're really excited to see the Memecoin trend and trying to work with the best projects, to help with the best adoption so far.
All right, so lastly for myself, book author, and then I'm a very strong meme advocate. I want to create a lot of different ecosystem where we can all work together in this meme space. So I'm also big in AI. So I'm a chairman of a company in Singapore called Nero. And we keep building and keep putting on different narrative with different nice partners here. So today we will talk about something more fun. But before I carry on with this, I need to thank two of my friends. One is TT Global and also Gao for taking the video of what we are trying to do. And then Gao is part of this golden circle, and Gigi mentioned that he's the Andrew Tate of meme coins and so forth. So please honor his words and on Twitter. But nevertheless, we have to start. What about CTO projects? All right. So right now, of course, if you can see, the crazy part right now about CTO project is community takeover. Yeah, not chief technology officer. All right. So community takeover projects are very popular right now, all right? Of course, based on my humble opinion, I think Nero is taking the lead in this bull run, all right? But let's talk about it, maybe starting from Eddie, how do you see as an eco service provider, how do you see CTO an attractive thing?
Right. I think this trend is really exciting and interesting as well as a community takeover, right? So that's what CTO means. And very different from traditional ICOs and all the projects that's building. It's very community-based. and it normally hypes. There's a lot of consumer traction, like real consumer tractions, right? I mean, along with the capital and wealth effects. As a payment company, I mean, like we do payments. We believe that consumer is the best key to, I guess, I mean, like a key factor to drive any mass adoption, and of course, and especially in this cycle, right? So if you look at it, a lot of VC coins or a lot of, I guess, more heavily backed infra is not working. At least it's not getting the tractions from the consumer. While meme is getting a lot, especially on these community taking over because their financial incentives is closely bonded with it. So for us, we're really excited to see this, and then we're really excited to work with some of the projects to allow more users to be able to buy these coins, to trade these coins, right? And on those end, I think payment is important, no matter from fiat side of things and from cross-chain side of things, right? For example, a lot of these CTO coins, Nero, for example, right? So they're on one specific chains. That means user have to have asset on the specific chain. But in a lot of cases, people's assets, their crypto assets, it's distributed along chains, along different exchanges. Sometimes they use fiat to ramping, a lot of these things. And that's how we kind of be in the position to help them to facilitate these. Right, so we're aggregator of payments. Users, no matter where you have the assets, we enable you to buy those coins. And this is consumer facing, which is the best.
Thank you, Eddie. What about you, Jordan? What do you see that is the attraction point, for retail users to get into CTO projects, and how is that relate to what MyDoge is doing?
Well, I think, if you're wondering if CTOs are the narrative, if you look at Dogecoin right now, Dogecoin is not just the original meme coin, it's also the original CTO. The founders of Dogecoin left the project, 8 or 9 years ago now, in the very, very early stages before the entire world was into Dogecoin. And so if you look today, I'm sure everyone has seen, the original CTO is doing extremely well. So I think obviously it's a great narrative. I think, it's hard to find someone who thinks that a community taking over a project or running a project is a worse narrative than some anonymous developer whose motives you can't really trust. And that's not to say there aren't really awesome, honest devs out there, but I think naturally people tend to go towards the CTO narrative. So I think there's lots of good examples. Nero, obviously, CTO is doing well. Pudgy Penguins, one of the biggest IPs in all of crypto, originally a CTO as well. And also my good friends over at Miggles, also a CTO doing extremely well. And I think there's a couple cool examples there. Like Pudgy Penguins, building one of the biggest IPs in all of crypto, managed to do so by acquiring the IP from the original devs after CTOing the coin. And similarly, Miggles has done that, and now they're working directly with Coinbase, who's really supportive of the project. So I think it's not just community that potentially likes the CTO narrative, but if you have Coinbase literally endorsing a CTO project, working together with them, I think that kind of tells you all you need to know. So yeah, I love the concept of CTOs, but I am biased from the Doge community.
That is really bullish, to be honest, because Doge is really doing very well right now. So thanks, Jordan. Alan, what is your attraction point to CTO? How do you deal with all these CTO projects?
For Modal, as educational platforms, we try to work with our different stakeholders, like project owners. We're saying get community support is very important for you to go to the market. And MemeCoin is emerging in the market and bring another way how to build more strong communities and give the right, give the governance, even give some profitable share to the community. That's drive the community more engaging. Instead of just airdrop, but MemeCoin, you give them even some like totem. I don't know, probably some of you know about the totem. Many years ago, a lot of tribe, that they believe some totems. And similarly, like community, like projects, if you can build your brand, like totem, like Meme, then you probably have more loyalty community supporters. So that's some point from mine. And for Modal, we are also thinking about how to create our own Meme, like a small more, to let our community reactive again. Yeah.
Well, community is definitely the key in all these CTO projects. What about Yellow? How is the ecosystem embracing CTO, and what is the attraction point? I think it's still that attraction point that draws you to talk about memes and so forth. Louis, please.
So at Yellow, we do have a market making division. And obviously, in the last year, it has been a lot about meme coins. And we've been approached by CTOs, by communities for listing a token that they took over. So this happened several times this year. And this is a very interesting case. I think from a personal perspective, I'm a developer. I don't think developers are necessarily very good community builders. And I think ultimately a project, especially meme coins, belong to the community, and new leader will raise from that community and take over. And I think it should be a natural way of things for meme coins and those community-driven projects.
Well said. Just a bit of background. So Alex, which is the founder of Yellow, is also a co-founder of GSR.
Correct.
And of course now
Correct.
they have a Yellow Capital, they have Yellow Market Making and so forth. So if you need anything, please say hi to Louis later on. All right. So we talk about all the good things, how meme coins is like, how community takeover projects is cool. Let's talk a bit about things that are more realistic. So CTO projects. What are the cons? What are the bad side of the things that most people didn't understand, right? Can we maybe share your views? Maybe Eddie first. What are things that you didn't really like about CTO projects?
Okay. I think this gets a bit personal, but before starting this project, I was working in Binance for a few years, right? So I actually started Binance NFT. Whole department I started myself. The whole, I think, Memecoin trend or CTO trend gives me a very similar feeling to the NFT starts. So I think the core of Memecoin is visions, right? So what is the consensus, the vision you set for people, and people pay for it, they buy for it, they pump for it, they hype for it, all this. It goes back to, I don't know, even the Satoshi, the period, right? So it's really about the vision, whether it's big or not, is it make sense or not, right? So I guess what I like is the visionary nature of this type of investment or assets or a trading form. The thing I don't like is the same, when people set a very bad vision or doesn't really make sense stuff, right? So that kind of make me kind of feeling weird. Is it just for rock? Is it just for? It doesn't really make sense, right? Not like it's like some of NFTs. Sometimes they promote good stuff. They promote a lifestyle. They promote some sort of technical visionary in the future. All that makes sense. Even some of the attitude to life, like Pepe coins or Doge, they stands for something that people share in mind. That's fine. But I'd also see something that's very negative. That's just not make sense. I mean, it's just a rug, right? So that's the con part of the things, I guess.
Okay. So you do not like the shitty, bad narratives,
Yeah, that's personal for myself, right? So it's not promoting something good.
All right, I think that is very fair. Jordan, what are some of the things that you didn't really like about CTO projects? Is it maybe the other word to ask is, do you think it's sustainable for most of them?
I think that whether there's a dev team or whether there's a CTO, what has to be done is the exact same. I mean, you still need someone to run the project. You need them to build the community. You need them to coordinate listings, marketing, etc. So it's sort of like, let's say in a CTO case, it's probably because the original dev gave up, whether the coin was down or they just decided to cash out. But the exact same thing can happen when it's a CTO. People can get tired. Maybe they're not seeing progress. Maybe the coin is down. Maybe the big whales decide to cash out. So ultimately, yeah, it's a great narrative, but it's probably harder to do in a decentralized fashion. I think the other main challenge, and I would say Dogecoin's a good example of this, is when you don't have a dev team that has a ton of early tokens, then you don't have a huge fund to grow the ecosystem. So in a CTO, you're relying on kind of the early whales or people who kind of buy into the CTO narrative, buy a bunch, then they donate some tokens to a fund and that kind of thing. And I would say that's definitely more difficult than if you're just the guy who launched the token and you have $100 million now and you're like, hey, I can hire people, I can pay for marketing, I can do this. So I would say it's probably more challenging, but I think the purity of it is pretty beautiful. And ultimately, the goal is, the community is what drives the coin anyway. Whether it's a dev team, whether it's a CTO, it's the community that's going to make it successful. So I think you kind of need it one way or another. It's just kind of like who's in charge.
All right. So there are two sides to this, right? So I do think you brought up a very important point. It's about the funds. How they can market, whether they have enough money to market, whether they can sustain it. That would be another good point. What about Alan?
Talking about the cons of Meme, from my point of view, I think some memes too rely on certain influencers. So that's the risk. Sometimes if the influencers change their image in the market or get some problems, the whole meme will probably spoil it. So that's some risk. And also, few panelists have talking about to decentralize. We still need some people to run the projects. And even if they don't have utilities in future, then I think the meme cannot last for too long. So need a more strong team to support it and provide more utilities in next phase if they want to be a sustainable meme.
Well said, man. What about yourself, Louis?
The main challenge being obviously fragmenting the community. It requires strong leadership, and it's something that needs to be precisely calculated in budget before making the move in order to have this succeed. Fundamentally, the motivations are better than usual developer who just make a pump fund and is just looking for short-term profit. And often the CTO leader have an affection for the ecosystem and the community and will be going long-term. But that's not enough. He's going to need to have enough traction and also a power over the DAO or the funds, as we mentioned. So really the risk, the downside is trying, failing, and the project is going to die, usually.
True. So all in all, it's all about sustainability, right? So many of these CTO projects, they have a nice narrative, right? And then maybe the tier 4 influencers just screw them up and then they will be gone, right? Or maybe the developer, so-called, or maybe the CTO leader just ran away and then they ran away and then they ran away and then the project just gone dead. But I think ultimately is about one thing. It's about money, right? Because if you are a CTO project, you do not have the money, there's no way you can market, right? There's no way you can list your project, right? And there's no way you can survive, whatever bull market, bear market, right? So my point of view is more straightforward, project got to be sustainable, right? I'm not asking you to sell t-shirts, it's not like, you have a nice logo, right? You sell t-shirts, you have a big community, you can buy it. You're not here to sell NFT, because they might not have enough big whales to buy your NFT at one ETH, right? So my point of view is more straightforward. In order to be sustainable, all of us should work together. So I give you two examples, right? First example is you are a coin, right? You are listed somewhere. You need to trade, right? So you can work with projects that can do trading and give you extra revenue. So one of the projects that I've seen is called COPX, C-O-P-X. You trade your meme coin, you get your native token. Get a native token, then you can sell it on it for your marketing needs. The other thing that, of course, we can see here, which is MemeCore, which is layer 1 for meme coins. So what they can do right now is a lot of these meme coins that are not surviving very well, or maybe they are doing very well, they need additional funds, right? So they can use a program that is structured by my colleague, Ethan. It's called Mine to Earn, So you stake your native token, you get back a layer 1 native token. And of course, you can use that to fund your marketing and so forth. I think it's cool, to be honest. You know, do you think within your ecosystem, be it Yellow, Mobile, MyDoge OS, you know, and Aeon, what can you do to make things more sustainable? What can you provide to the CTO to make them more sustainable? Maybe Eddie first?
Yeah, sure. I guess before answering these questions, right, I guess to that one as well. When I say like visions, it's really, I think it's down back to the sustainability thing, right? So I think only a highly focused vision that everyone agrees that can sustain. You know, people agree to it, buy into it, believe in it, right? So that's what I would mean by, I guess, narrative or vision in the good or bad end. And then from another end, you know, from an actual sustainability part of things, I think money is definitely, but to keep the money going, you have to have users start flowing in the community, right? So you cannot just focus on one specific community. If you started in Thailand, you need to expand yourself, the coin, I mean, like to other continents, right? So Latin America, Dubai, all these different places. So I think how to get users flowing in, new users, new traction, new community groups funded in, I think that would be a challenge for many of those projects. Because I think a lot of meme coin projects or CTO projects, they are starting with one specific community or even geographically someplace. But how do they expand to other chains, to other geographic locations? That's the challenge. And from payment side, we're really trying to resolve it by aggregating those payment solutions. So no matter where you are facing, they have a way to deposit money in to buy things on it. So keep the traction flow positive and keep the user flow, you know, just keep coming. Then I think it can sustain the meme coin trend, right? Because if you're just limiting yourself in a region or in an ecosystem, eventually it will die out. That's my take on it.
No, I want to add on to this because what Aeon is doing is really convenient, right? If you want to send any form of payment, you can always look at what Aeon is doing. You know, if you want to build your community, you want to tip your community and build from there, you could always use Aeon to do it. All right, so take a look at what Eddie is doing, love what he's doing, and definitely a good way for you to build the meme community using your payment solution.
Yeah, we're basically helping meme coins communities to attract more users of different ecosystem to join force, right? Yeah.
That's great, man. What about your product, man? I know you with the Doge wallet. You know, of course, you talk about the Doge OS and so forth. Can you give us a sneak preview of what you're trying to do? And at the same time, how can you help those CTO projects, you know, from your product?
Yeah, I think that, you know, the way we look at it, I mean, again, Dogecoin, there's no official team behind it. There's no wealth of Doge to support the ecosystem. So you have teams like us who just, you know, entered the ecosystem and tried to build a startup around Dogecoin. And what we're really trying to do now is, you know, create more investable opportunities in the Dogecoin ecosystem so that other people can do the same. You know, we don't have, you know, $1 billion of Doge to just throw at people because we just joined the ecosystem, the community, like everybody else. And so the reason we're creating Doge OS, which is enabling programmability on Dogecoin, enabling dApps to be built on Dogecoin, whether they're meme coins, DAOs, you know, DEXs, anything, games, is really so that we can actually create investable opportunities so that other teams can come in and attract investment to their project just within the Dogecoin ecosystem. And so I kind of agree with you. It comes down to money. I mean, tens of millions of people around the world love the Doge meme. That doesn't mean they're going to just dedicate their lives to, you know, spreading Doge in the community and that kind of thing. We want real teams coming and building on Doge. Even other meme coins can come and build on Dogecoin. Other communities, maybe they're struggling, a CTO is struggling, maybe they want to move over to Dogecoin, the original meme chain, and then tap into what is the biggest meme community in the entire world, which has, you know, 30, 40 billion dollars in liquidity, probably 100 billion in a few weeks with the way things are going. And that's kind of our way to basically help projects, help people who want to build within the community, but also help push Dogecoin forward, given the absence of any sort of big ecosystem fund to just, you know, give grants to people.
Well said, man. I also really hope to see the Doge community gather and do more together, right? So whether it's the Dogecoin, whether it's DRC20, Dogenos, Cardinals, whoever it is, you know, they're all building their best and doing their best within the Doge. So that's a good point, man. Alan, so what can MoDAO help with all these CTO and meme projects?
Model as a platform, like a community-driven education platform. We don't. Personally, I'm not a domain expert, but I believe as a platform, we can invite successful use case CTO project to share through our platforms, like probably Andy, like Luis, Jordan, and Eddie. But for myself, I think we also promote how to leverage blockchain to resolve real-world problems. If we take meme as a new type of methodologies, then how can link the meme to our real world? Like for example, our real world brand can work with meme. For example, we have a lot of very successful brand like Hermes. The brand, I say, is growing very fast, but for the communities, never benefit from it. But for the future business, probably meme can be a very good community management tools. So some builders potentially can think about the utility behind the meme could be linked with our real world, retail, fashion, whatever. Yeah, that's probably a good extension skill.
Well, look, yeah, no, so I think it's a very well said observation, from Alan. I want to add on, maybe in the future, MoDAO could actually do more by educating people what actually CTO is all about, how they can see different tokens using bubble maps, for example, because there's a lot of tools that is underutilized. So if MoDAO can do that, I think all of us will really 100% support what he's trying to do. So MoDAO is a big force, and we should continue to work together, right? What about you, Louis?
Yeah, I agree with what was said. I think in investment we say a lot of do your own research, do fundamental analysis, and in meme coins it's really the community that is the main factor for deciding on an investment. At Yellow, we decentralize trading across multiple layer 1, layer 2. So what's even funny is that our test network is a canary network. So it's a test net with real money, and we have chosen to only trade meme coins on this network. So this is a really good way to stress test the system, and we had the opportunity to list a lot of long tail or emerging meme coin projects. And so what we can do to help communities listing their token, or let's call it relisting, usually they have those issues, they understand the need of liquidity depth, of proper market making, and we make, with the Yellow network, listing very accessible. You can self-list, a bit like on Uniswap. The requirements are much lower, and they are cross-chain. So it's really much easier to maintain a market as a community without this centralized authority that was the owner before.
All right, well said, Louis. I personally felt that the main key of what we are trying to do, whether it's CTO or whether it's Memecoin, is all about the community, right? So that is a big attraction point for myself. So that's why I kept posting things on Twitter and so forth, is to really look at the community and try to engage with them. So one very last question, so this will be a simple one, how do you see the future of meme coins? What are the trends, and how is it evolving? Maybe spot some trends. Start with Eddie again. Eddie.
Right. Yeah. So I've been seeing a lot of things recently on the meme coin side. You have all those AI agent coins, and then you have more of a culturistic coins. The way I see it is, again, back to the visionary theory I have, right? So I think a few will run out. Eventually, some will just be the winner on a segment. By winner, I mean like this. It's like religion, right? So it's some particular vision or religion will dominate the whole sector and say, hey, if we go with the animal coins, and this is the one. If we go with the AI coins, and this is probably the one. And then when that comes, I think those coins will start to build some utility facilities, just like what Doge is doing as well. All the others mature meme coins doing. I think that time will come. When that time will come, I think it will be very interesting to see how they collaborate with the, I guess, more centralized, dev-driven Web3 space. Like how a very purely CTO project ecosystem is working with centralized exchanges, for example, with those like Eigenlayer, all these different staking, more centralized, not centralized, dev-driven projects, right? So I would be curious to see. And mining, like we say, the DeFi, on DeFi way, on visionary way, I think those are the two, I guess, future that I can foresee. But ultimately, it's really down to communities and who like the most, right? So yeah.
Well, it's also about how they market themselves. So I think that's spot on. What about yourself? What trends are you seeing in the meme space?
I mean, I definitely think that there's so much room for innovation in the meme space. I don't necessarily know what's coming, but I think we've really only scratched the surface. I think something I would like to see is more memes. I think we've sort of taken the concept of a meme coin to just mean like any token that you create, but a lot of the time there isn't actually a meme behind it. And I think that it's easier to be successful if you make something based on or create a strong meme. And in my opinion, ideally funny. So I'd like to see more like fun and more actual memes behind meme coins. But I also think, pump fun is certainly not the end game of, at least the current iteration of pump fun is not the end game of how a meme coin launchpad should be. I think that's where I'd like to see the most innovation. How to incentivize actual fair launches. I know a number of teams working on this. I think at the beginning we were like, oh look, it's pump fun, so it's a fair launch instead of the bundled coins going straight to Radium and all that. But now we see, okay, all the same techniques can be applied directly on pump fun. It's no longer just automatically a fair launch because it was there. So I would like to see innovation in the launchpad side. We're also working with some teams to bring projects like that onto Dogecoin. I think Doge being sort of the most like wholesome and apolitical and just pure like happiness original meme coin, I think maybe we can be a guiding light for the meme community in trying to establish maybe better ways to do things or just push the space forward a bit. But ultimately, yeah, I would say innovation around fair launches, around community involvement, something like what my friends at Miggles are doing in terms of how do you get control of or provenance of IP after you've community takeover a coin, because that can often be a limiting factor. Like you want to sell a toy based on your cute dog cat meme in a store, but you CTO'd it and you don't actually know the artist who created that image. Good luck. And so I think there's innovation to happen there. Ultimately, I would just say I'd like to see more fun and more memes though.
Next will be Alan.
Yes, for me, I think I expect the meme can attract more real creators, like artists. They know their community and like create some funny or get some very meaningful designs and can empower the certain brand or some marketing effects for some real business, I think. But of course, currently still like presently I think it's still a hype, speculation inside. But for the long run, if meme is still existing, I believe this definitely will link with real life business, as I mentioned previously. Yeah, that's my expectation as well.
Louis.
The main value of meme coin is the entertainment value to its user. I believe as long as we keep the investor aware of those risks, there is an industry and a future for the entertainment value, a bit like Netflix is. I believe there will be more evolution with integration, for example, like Telegram platform of Orton, the Telegram applications, more mobile applications or merch coming from the strong brand that everyone loves so much around this community. So I do believe the market will consolidate. It's not going to be as wild as it is in the recent years, but I think it will continue to exist.
All right, I'll just quickly conclude. Yeah, so my point of view is more straightforward. You know, we should continue to find ways to reach out to more partners. Right, we have to find ways to work with different projects so to keep yourself alive and keep the talking point there. Right, I think most of the meme projects are very silos. Right, they only work for themselves and they do not want to partner with anybody. So my humble opinion is to work with each other, love each other, right? And then I'm a strong person, a strong believer that utility can come later, right? So innovation can come, but utility can come later because all we need to do is to have the community. If we have the community, we can definitely do a lot more and do a lot more utility behind it. You know, this is how Shiba can do it, right? Doge can do it, you know, even with simple t-shirts, or maybe you can start a cafe because you have the community, right? So last but not least, you know, we all should be fun, right? Meme coins should always be fun and don't talk about things that are too serious, right? Just be fun and your community members will definitely come to you, all right? Again, it's not about design. You know, to me, is if I really want to launch a meme coin, I can draw like 2 lines. I think I can at least get 100 users, right, to follow me, you know? So just be fun and definitely we will see a lot more going in the space. So thank you, everybody, you know. So let's end the session. Thanks.
Thank
Thanks,
you very
Andy.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Andy.
ขอเสียงปรบมือให้กับ
Let's have a photo
speaker
together.
ของเรา
Photo.
ด้วยนะคะ Alright, let's take a photo together. Well, thank you very much for sharing your insight with us over here, sharing your experience from your point of view. This is about our Memecoin trends, how our CTO doing, and what can be done better. Thank you very much. Of course, thank you for all the speakers, Mr. Louis Belek from Yellow, Mr. Alan Fang from Modal, Mr. Jordan Jefferson from MyDoge, Mr. Anndy Lian from Aeon. And thank you for the moderator of this session. You're moderating wonderfully. Thank you very much, Mr. Anndy Lian from LIFT Ecofund by MemeCore. A big round of applause once again. Thank you. Woohoo. ขอบคุณนะคะ